So I'm going to show you guys in this video how I do mosaics on a shower floor. Alright, here's our next project that I'm gonna make a video out of. In a master bathroom. Big old shower. So I'll set up here in the bedroom, otherwise it's a very long walk. It's a very big bedroom though. Lots of room. Put my workstation in here. One thing I've discovered about Ohio, tools rust here. Stuff didn't rust in Wyoming. My thinking on shower floors is that the most critical part of the layout is what the tile is going to be doing around the drain. So 90% of the time, if I can get the mosaic to fall like either full tile or in some way symmetrical around this drain, that's what I'll do. So essentially when it's done, this grate snaps into this collar feeds into this flange. This flange sits into this recessed divot here. You have all this play, side to side, back and forth. So you can really get a great layout all around the shower. So this marble basket weave is going on this shower floor, and we can take the grate and get a rough idea of what we want to do on the layout. So I just play with it to see where it falls. And then after we get that basic layout around the grate, we can start measuring this way, and this way, just to make sure we get it square. I want the mosaic sitting square in the pan, and we also don't want slivers around the perimeter. Most important drink of the day. Look at all this glue. You gotta cut all that off or this stuff doesn't sit flat. It doesn't interlock. See, these are designed to interlock piece to piece. It doesn't work very well when there's gobs of glue everywhere. this gap here is growing a little bit. So what that means is this whole thing needs turned like this, just slightly. That'll even out these cuts, even out that gap, and then same thing along this side. Those are designed two-dimensionally, right? So say this is the shower floor, right? Looking down on it, all your tiles will be like that, right? And we figure the square footage of this, say it's a 4 foot by 5 foot. We do a simple two-dimensional multiplication here. 4 by 5 is 20 feet. Now, what we don't hear talked about is this is 2D, right? But shower floors have fall, right? So say now we're looking at the side. Here's the fall, and then it comes back up. Here's our shower walls, drain right here. Right? So now this 2D, imagine we're flipping it and setting it on this floor. It's no longer two-dimensional because as this drops, right, theoretically a two-dimensional plane would come straight across. It wouldn't have any drop. So the 20 square feet, the 4 by 5 dimension, is preserved. But in a shower it drops. So what that means essentially is that to the extent that this falls, we increase over the simple x by x equation there, right? 4 by 5 equals 20 feet. Well, now we're dropping, right? So to the extent, and I don't know how you would equate that because it falls gradually, and I'm not a mathematician, but to the extent that it falls, now we have more than 20 square feet because it's not two-dimensional anymore. Now it's three-dimensional, right? Because the shower is dropping. Okay, so what that means then is all these lines, they're not going to be perfectly straight. They're going to curve, right, like this. They're going to bow toward the drain. Let me see if we can see it on this. Can't see it much on this one, but if we were to look at this point here, and then this point way on the other side of the shower, toward the middle right here, these grout joints are bowing, right? Like toward the drain because of the pitch. So it's no longer two-dimensional, now it's three-dimensional. So what that means is every time, excuse me, every time we're putting these mosaics on a shower floor, you're actually fighting that curvature, that third dimension, the height dimension, right? Up, down, the drop. You're fighting that curvature to make these mosaics look like they're straight, but we're compensating for fall. And that can be kind of tricky sometimes. Basically, it's a tightrope that we walk to try and make everything look straight and look clean and look good. But that's why a lot of times when you're trying to put your shower floor together, find an example here, you're trying to put your shower floor together and stuff will get either loose at the drain and like tight in random spots on the outside, or weird things will happen. And the trick is when you're setting this to flow, let it flow and kind of go with that curvature, but making it look like it's not there. So hopefully that makes sense. Like I said, I'm not a mathematician and I don't know the correct terminology, but the geometry of it is pretty straightforward to understand. See the sheet lines here? When we set it, the idea is to help all these sheet lines disappear. We'll see how well we can do. All right, thanks for tuning in. I hope that showed you something here. Maybe that was a little bit helpful. If you guys like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I recently passed 400 subscribers, so that's pretty cool. But I'm not here to beg for that. I'm making these videos because they're fun to make and I enjoy it. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.